this should be pretty fun.
I want some nasty.
Okay, so we're talking about the San Antonio Spurs once again, dude. It's the Spurs channel. Of course, we're talking about the Spurs, but let's talk about the Spurs preview. Like, what are we expecting from this upcoming season? So I came across this video. It says, "What direction are the Spurs heading?" And I thought, hey, why not react to this video while also giving my thoughts on the opinions of others. And I think that it'll be a good way to not only address some of the things that this individual is saying in his video, but also giving my thoughts on this season and giving you my own preview of what I expect from the Spurs this upcoming season. So let's get straight into it. This is by Iceway. What direction are the Spurs heading? Let's go.
San Antonio Spurs have been recognized as one of the best organizations in the entire league, as they are a true model of success. Wait, wrong tense. They were one of the best organizations in the entire league, but...
Okay, right off the bat, I don't agree with that. We're still one of the best organizations in the league. I mean, we can't really control some of the situations that we were just kind of put in. This whole notion that the Spurs are no longer a top-tier franchise is ridiculous. We're still making pretty great moves. Even the ones that we disagree with, I think every Spurs fan kind of agree with the Josh Primo move. So the Spurs... they know what they're doing, okay? Some of the same people are still in the helm of the front office. It's not like all of a sudden now they don't know how to run an organization. We're still the same franchise. The only difference is we don't have a Tim Duncan. And I'll tell you this, every one of our players works so hard. If they don't become a superstar, it just wasn't meant to be. It's not going to be a fault on them. You know, the whole situation where people saying Ben Simmons don't work hard and all of that. These players, I believe, work 120%. If they weren't going to be a superstar, they're just not going to be a superstar. But I guarantee you they're going to hit their full potential with the Spurs. So our franchise is doing a fine job. I disagree with that right off the bat, but I digress. Let's go.
Right now, their future isn't looking too good. Well, what does their future actually look like? I'll be trying to answer that question and more in another installment of my season previews for the upcoming 2021-2022 NBA season.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think our future look bright? It's really hard to tell. You know what I mean? Like, if Lonnie Walker, I think we'll know farther into the season, like how bright our future really is. Because right now, the only thing we're really banking on is Primo. And obviously, DeJounte Murray is going to be a very good pillar for us. But that's about all we got right now. So I don't know.
But before that, you already know the drill. Just go ahead and hit that like button, as it'll help out my channel a lot. And it helps YouTube
hit the
YouTube
like
algorithm
button
to put out my videos
on my video.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and turn on your post notifications to never miss any of my uploads, as we're so close to 10 subscribers.
Come on, man.
And comment what other videos you'll straight into the video. So their offseason moves were nothing to rave home about, as they basically got a lot of veterans to fill the needs and holes in this team. They got Thad Young and Al-Farouq Aminu in the DeMar DeRozan trade, which I will say...
okay, this video is like a week old, so...
up the Spurs, as they got off DeMar's contract, and Thad Young is a good player who can mentor some of the younger players on this roster.
He's a 3-and-D. Like, he basically fits in with what we do. He's a 3-and-D.
And he's not too bad himself, as his game
and I don't know if we'll even like keep that. So I mean, that's a whole nother topic, right?
Based on versatility and doing a little bit of everything. Aminu, on the other hand, is a whatever player, as his only benefit is his defense, as his three ball is shaky at best.
Okay, he doesn't know a lot about the Spurs. I mean, we've been saying as soon as we got Aminu that he was going to be gone. And this is after media day. It was very obvious that the Spurs weren't going to keep Aminu, but
they also signed guys like Doug McDermott, Zach Collins, Jack Lawndale, and Bryn Forbes to fix one of their biggest issues, which was spacing.
Yeah.
Also in the draft, and
I agree.
I'm telling you beforehand that I am not an expert in college or high school ball whatsoever, but anyways, they got Joshua Primo, who's a flashy guard from what I've seen, with flashes of shooting, finishing, and overall shot creating ability.
Okay.
From what I've heard, he was supposed to go a bit later in the draft, so they probably could have got someone better. And even
actually, it was rumors that OKC could have grabbed Primo, so they went ahead and grabbed him. Another thing that makes sense is that Primo is really close to SGA, so they might have been thinking to do a little duo going on. So the Spurs got on that pretty quickly.
For me, they already have an abundance of talented guards, so this pick is kind of a head scratcher. But hey, it's Spurs.
It makes sense. I think the Spurs are kind of. I think part of the reason, and I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, I think part of the reason why the Spurs went after Joshua Primo was because they weren't 100% sure with Luka. It seemed like when we grabbed Luka, it was high potential that he could end up being some type of pillar in the future. because he was the type of guard, or not type of guard, I'm sorry, the type of forward that we kind of needed at the time. Like, he was getting certain comparisons to even Kevin Durant. So I think the Spurs were kind of thinking, oh, maybe, this big man, this power forward / small forward can be our Kevin Durant with a lot of work. But I think grabbing Joshua Primo, even though on the outside looking in, yeah, he is a guard, he's expected to grow at least a few more inches. So I think he kind of took, I know that's a weird take, but I think he kind of took Luka's role in a way. So we'll see.
And they've been known to hit on golden draft, and this could just be another example of
Facts.
They also got this Joe dude in the draft. Yeah, I'm going to try to pronounce his last name.
Wieskamp, baby.
All I'll say about him is that he's a good shooter.
Yeah, sharpshooter.
Now, moving on to the main pieces of this group, we
got
to start off with DeJounte Murray, as he's always been one of the better perimeter defenders in the league, and his offense has gotten better throughout the league, with his shots steadily improving, but a lot of his star potential in him, which at this point is probably not going to happen, as he's already 25. They also have Lonnie Walker, who was supposed to be their main piece, but his career so far has been meh so far, as he's a good defender.
This guy kind of speaking facts right now. I don't even want to, I don't know. I want to stick up for my Spurs, but I mean, what can I say, bro?
But his offensive game needs work, but he has shown shot creating ability, and we'll see how he develops.
Yeah, we just gotta wait and see.
He's a good all-around player, as he's versatile, can shoot, play make, and just be the glue guy for his team.
He knows the Spurs a little bit.
Now, moving on to probably the most exciting piece this team has to offer is Keldon Johnson. He's a high motor guard / forward, as he crashes the board at a really good rate. He can play some good defense, and offensively he is pretty athletic and can.
Alright, let's get to what your preview is. What do you expect?
Over Trey. Yeah, this dude and Spurs are going to get the business every time they play Atlanta from now on. But disregarding that little side tangent, the Spurs' young core is just weird, as they don't have that definite talent that they can build around.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they need a Luka or Trey.
Yeah, we're kind of sitting back waiting, who's going to be that guy, But I think, honestly, because it didn't seem like this guy mentioned Devin Vassell, I think Devin Vassell is going to eventually be that guy this season. That's kind of what I'm convinced on now. He just has that type of swagger to him, you know what I mean? That little bit of nastiness. And he hit some pretty clutch shots in the preseason that went, underlooked. I think because we lost those games, but still.
That's just hard to come by, because they're both generational talents.
Overlooked. Did I say underlooked? Ugh.
But there just isn't a clear-cut franchise guy over there. No offense to any of their young guys. All their promising players are perimeter players, and they're nothing too special. And with the signings that I mentioned earlier, and with Coach Pop being Coach Pop, it looks like San Antonio may still want to contend. And
yeah,
right now, that's just not the perfect time for them, as they should be aiming to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Look, we got too many competitors on our team. These guys are not going to just sit back and just lose games. It's just not going to happen. I can't stand that take. I hear that take a lot, man. You should just lose games. You should just lose games like the 90s. Dude, they never tanked. It just kind of happened that way. If it happens, just let it happen naturally. But you got to keep trying to win games. Why would Pop even go out like that? No. Pop wants to win games, baby.
High draft pick and finally get a real franchise guy. Now, for the season projections,
it could be Primo, though.
Have them anywhere from the last to maybe the 13th seed.
Or Vassell.
As Coach Pop will still try to find ways to win.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Maybe the 13th seed, as Coach Pop will.
13th seed?
Last to maybe the 13th seed, as Coach Pop will still try to find ways to win with this group. And I think they'll win some games, but that talent simply isn't there. So they'll be hanging around with teams like Sacramento and OKC, waiting to once again be a competent NBA team. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Don't forget, as always.
Okay. All right. So that's his take. We're going to be 13th seed. I mean, big shout out to Iceway. Look, you really know the team, okay? I'm not going to comment good take because I don't think it's a great take, but you do know the team pretty well. But I don't agree with that opinion. So here's my thoughts on it. I don't think that the Spurs will be 13th seed by any means. I think that that's a little pessimistic. I think that the Spurs could very well make the playoffs. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs. I guess my main thought about the whole season and what's going to happen is that I agree that we're going to struggle quite a bit. It's going to be certain times that we struggle. It's going to be certain times in this season where we're not going to be able to find a shot, and we're going to have to lean on, I hate to say it, but like a Bryn Forbes in a lot of these games. But with that being said, it is still very likely that Lonnie or Devin Vassell can step up and be that guy. DeJounte Murray is going to continuously give us about 17, 6 and 6, maybe something in that range, maybe a little bit better. So we have that pillar there. So we're going to have people to be able to depend on. But with that being said, yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a struggle. But I will say this: I think that by committee, all of the team or all the players that we have together and how well they work together, I think that they'll be able to go slightly over 500. That's my take on the Spurs going forward in this season. I think we'll be slightly over 500, maybe like 5 games over 500, and I think that'll be enough to hit about that 6th seed, 5th seed. I really do believe that, because our team as a whole, we do have a lot of talent, especially depth. Like if you're looking at the Spurs roster, and as I bring it up right here, our roster is pretty nice. It's not bad by any means. Let's see. So let's look at the Spurs roster, and as you can see, every single one of our players can shoot fairly well. Like if you're looking at whether it be Aminu's gone, but if you're looking at obviously Bryn Forbes, Drew Eubanks, he's coming into a new development. Hopefully Trey Jones gets some minutes and he's going to really help us. But you look at Jock Landale, Doug McDermott, not you, Jacob. But you know, Derek White, Joe Wieskamp if he plays, but that young if we keep him. But yeah, so we have a team that has a lot of depth, and I think it's going to have a lot of space for people like Devin Vassell, for Lonnie Walker, for DeJounte Murray to be able to really open up the game, and we get to sit back and see what we have. And if we get really lucky as fans, we'll get to see Joshua Primo play a little bit more, and maybe he's going to force a hand from Pop, and he'll have to get minutes. But that's my thought on it. I want to know what you guys think about this season. That's kind of my prediction, that we'll have enough depth in which we can kind of scrape into that 6th spot. So you guys let me know what you think. I'll give it to you guys later. Till next time. Deuces.